All right, so we are going to play a fun game. It's called the UniParty game. I've never played it before, so we're going to see how it goes. But basically, let's just dive into it and see what happens. So the Uniparty and its constituencies in politics, big business, and academia, and the Washington blob have spent recent decades advancing a foolhardy agenda of globalization with unanimous support in our nation's capital. We've compiled 12 quotes reflecting the dogmatic tenets of this consensus. Can you tell where on the political spectrum they originate? Let's see. We are fortunate that thanks to globalization, policy decisions in the US have been largely replaced by global market forces. It hardly makes any difference who will be the next president. The world is governed by market forces. Interesting quote. I'm going to go with Alan Greenspan, Federal Reserve Chair. In 2007, that is correct. Alan's Greenspan offered this answer in response to a Swiss newspaper's question about who would be elected president in the next year's general election. Okay, number two, I'm worried about jobs, and I believe if you trade more, there are more jobs available for hardworking. I have a feeling this is Obama because of the TPP. Anyways, I'm worried about jobs, and I believe if you trade more, there are more jobs available for hardworking Americans. There are some who play politics with the trade issue. They want to shut down trade. I like to remind some people that those who shut down trade aren't confident. They're not confident in the American worker. They're not confident in the American entrepreneur. They're not confident in American products. This is Barack Obama. Dang it, it was President Bush. Bummer, got that wrong. It said President Bush delivered these remarks at the port of New Orleans in 2002, outlining his trade agenda. Number three, I believe that having China in the WTO will not only have an economic benefit for the United States and other countries, but will increase the likelihood of positive change in China and therefore stability throughout Asia. See, now Newt Gingrich, he seems like a China hawk kind of thing, so I'm going to go Bill Clinton. Nice! Got it right. Okay, so we said President Clinton delivered these remarks at 2000 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, a month after the Battle in Seattle protest at the WTO Ministerial Conference. Number four, globalization is a fact, not a policy option. Interesting. I have a feeling it's Condoleezza Rice, but we got Condoleezza Rice, Tony Blair, or Representative Xavier Becerra. I'm going to go Tony Blair. Dang it, was it? Oh, it was Representative who knows Xavier Becerra, Democrat of California from 1993 to 2017. Representative Becerra made this assertion in a Los Angeles Times letter to the editor in 1999. The Clinton State Department adopted the phrase verbatim in its interpretive statement, expanding on the statement issued by the United Nations Women 2000 Beijing Plus 5 conference. Number five, remember we got 12 of these. Number five, the TV manufacturing industry really started here and at one point employed many workers, but as TV sets became just a commodity, their production moved offshore to locations with much lower wages. And nowadays, the number of television sets manufactured in the US is zero. A failure? No, a success. Those greedy, freaking, not even greedy, just people who don't like America. Are we going to go with a Federal Reserve Chair of the Clinton administration or Council of Economic Advisors for the Bush administration? This gosh, this feels like a Bush thing. Even though I want to blame the Clintons, I'm going to go Bush. I'm going to blame the. Dang it! We should have blamed the Clintons. The Princeton University economist was quoted in Bloomberg Business Weekly by Intel CEO Andy Grove. Number six, the essential things to teach students are still the insights of Hume and Ricardo. That is, we need to teach them that trade deficits are self-correcting and that the benefits of trade do not depend on a country having an absolute advantage over its rivals. If we can teach undergraduates to wince, then they hear someone talk about competitiveness, we will have done our nation a great service. Paul Krugman or Frederick Hayek, Nobel Prize winner in economics. Ooh, they're both Nobel Prize winners in economics. Interesting, interesting, interesting. We're going to go Paul Krugman just because of his name. Nice, we got it right. Paul Krugman's essay, Why Do Undergraduates Need to Know About Trade, was published in May 1993 issue of the American Economic Review and argued that the most important thing to teach our undergrads about trade is how to detect nonsense. Interesting. Was he being nonsensical too? Perhaps. Number seven, we can give the world confidence that openness works, that openness creates jobs, that openness creates prosperity, and openness leads to a better lives in China and the US. And I believe the world would like to hear that message from us. Carlos Gutierrez or Hillary Clinton. Honestly, Hillary Clinton just doesn't seem like nice enough to talk about openness, I think, but also, but she's like so political. All right, we're gonna go Hillary Clinton. No, it was Carlos Gutierrez. Secretary Gutierrez was speaking in Beijing at the 18th U.S.-China Joint Commission on Commerce and Trade in 2007. Well, he was speaking to China, so of course he was going to kowtow to China. Anyways, number 8. Trade has brought untold benefits to our people, not the least of which are high paying jobs, increased consumer choice, increased economic competitiveness. So we got a senator from Texas, an Obama administration secretary of labor, or a European Central Bank president. We're going, dang it, we went with the central bank president. But it was actually Senator Graham, see, the Republican from Texas, offered these remarks in a public statement upon the introduction of a suite of trade bills in 2001 to grant the president fast track authority to implement trade agreements to accede Chile and the UK into NAFTA and to promote a free trade zone in the Western Hemisphere. What is the role of governments in shaping the new global economy? One role is to get out of the way, to remove barriers to the free flow of goods and services and capital. Joan E. Sparrow or Robert B. Zoellick, U.S. Trade Representative for the Bush administration or Undersecretary of State for the Clinton administration? Guys, I really have no idea. We are going to go with Robert. Dang it, it was Joan. Spiro delivered these remarks at the fifth annual meeting of the World Economic Development Congress in 1996. Four down, eight to go. Number 10, Intel, a manufacturer of semiconductors, is an American firm striving to realize these principles. Each of Intel's 1,000 Chinese employees receive a home computer, and the company is in the process of providing each with home internet access. See, now that's kind of cool. Moreover, Intel's operations in China are managed under the same environmental, health, safety, and labor policies the company applies to its U.S. operations, all of which are higher than the Chinese norms. Average base pay and health benefits are far more generous than those provided by these Chinese competitors. The more American companies bring not only our capital but our values to the Chinese soil, the more we can become a partner in unleashing positive change there. Now, this is all right. I know I come off as an anti-globalist because I'm more of a pro-America dude, but bringing values, good values abroad, I think is a good thing because then people say, hey, America's cool. Who was this? Or is it the Intel CEO or the Clinton administration? We're gonna go Intel CEO. No, it was the Clinton. No, wait, or maybe it was Glenn Hubbard. Sperling. It was Gene Sperling, the director of National Economic Council for the Clinton administration, 96 to 2001. Okay. Next quote, number 11. Trade with China will promote freedom. Freedom is not easily contained. Once a measure of economic freedom is permitted, a measure of political freedom will follow. Trade freely with China, and time is on our side. Madeleine Albright or George W. Bush? I'm going to go Madeleine Albright. Dang it, dude. I keep getting these wrong. It was George W. Bush. The then candidate Bush was delivering a campaign address to Boeing workers in Washington state in 2000, endorsing the Clinton administration's efforts to grant permanent normal trade resolutions status to China. Number 12, last one, baby. Here we go. The globalization will continue, and it is a fact on the ground. As policymakers, economists, statisticians, political theorists, researchers, academics, and citizens, it is absolutely critical that we accurately model and measure the positive and negative impacts of globalization. This seems like a Larry Summers thing. Oh, dang it. It was Susan Schwab. My freaking hunch is not as good as we would like it to be, I swear. No, Schwab was speaking at a 2008 conference convened by Woodrow Wilson Center on the need for the further academic research to inform free trade debates. Okay, I'm going to remember to copy this link and put it in the video. And baby, that's that. That's a wrap.